Hi, welcome to Seshu-Solutions. This is Anusha. In this video, I'm going to teach you about integers, opposite of integers, and absolute values. Okay? So, what are integers? Okay? Integers are nothing but 0. Integers are like 0, 1, 2, 3, and -1, -2, -3, and so on. Integers are 0, 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, and -3, and so on. Okay? So, how you will represent an integers on a number line? So integers on a number line. So here, if you consider 0, 0 is neither positive nor negative. Okay, so I'm not keeping +0 and -0. It is neither positive nor negative. On the right side of 0, right sides, it has some positive signs. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are called the integers, and on the left side of 0, -1, -2, -3, -4. Okay, so how you will represent the integers on a number line? On a number line, we'll keep a 0. On the right side of 0, you will have positive numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. On the left side of 0, you will have a negative numbers -1, -2, -3, -4, and so on. Okay, so let me explain you where you will use the integers. Okay. So for example, if you want to represent at the ground level or at the sea level, okay, at the sea level, then you will represent it as 0 at the sea level. Then we will represent it as 0. 10 feet above the sea level. 10 feet above the sea level. 10 feet above the sea level is called the +10. Okay, 10 feet above the sea level is represented by +10. If you have like 20 feet below the sea level, okay, 20 feet below the sea level, then you will represent it as -20. Okay, 20 feet below the sea level is represented as -20. And for example, if you're depositing a money of $400 in your bank, you're depositing, you're saving. So it has some positive sense, right? So if you're depositing $400 in a bank account, okay, $400 you're depositing. That has a positive sense. You'll represent it as +$400. And you're withdrawing the money. That means you're withdrawing your money to spend like on your groceries or to pay the bill. So you're spending the money. It has some negative sense. So also we'll say it has, like, for example, if you're withdrawing $200, then withdraw like $200, then you will represent it as -200. Okay, -200. Now we will check how to compare the numbers. Okay, how to, basic comparison of numbers. But when you have a positive number and a negative number, right? For example, is it -10 bigger or 50 bigger? 50 is right side of the 0, right? And 50 is a positive number. 50 is always a bigger number when compared to -10. Or all positive numbers are bigger when compared to the negative numbers. And you have to know how to use the sign. So here see, towards 50, because the 50 is a bigger number. So the alligator should open its bigger mouth towards the 50. So -10 is a less number when compared to the 50, and 50 is a bigger number. Now, if you have -23 and -66, in general, if you consider 23 and 66, we know that 66 is a bigger number, right? If it is a +23 and +66, positive 23 and positive 66. We know that positive 66 is a bigger number. So alligator is opening a bigger mouth towards the 66. But now when comes to minus 23 and minus 66, in negative numbers, it is the reverse. Okay, so minus 23 will be a bigger number when compared to the minus 66. Okay, it is the reverse of a positive numbers. Okay, let me do like if we have a number 121 and we have another number like minus 675, which one is bigger? As I mentioned you, all the positive numbers are bigger when compared to the negative numbers. So 121 is a positive number and minus 675 is a negative number. So 121 will be the bigger one. Okay, all the positive numbers are bigger when compared to negative numbers or minus numbers. Okay, and negative and minus, they both are same. Okay, if it is if you read the number as minus 675 or negative 675, they both are the same. Okay, so integers has both the positive numbers and the negative numbers, and the right side of 0 are positive numbers and the left side of 0 are negative numbers. Okay, and I explained you how to compare the numbers here. The next one is what is opposite of numbers. Okay, so opposite of numbers. So for example, if you have minus 65, okay, if you have minus 65, what is the opposite of minus 65? It is plus 65, okay? Or if you have positive 369, the opposite of positive 369 is minus 369, okay? If the number does not have any sign, you will consider it as a positive number. If you see for 65 and 369, I'm not mentioning plus 65 or plus 369. If you don't have any sign, that is considered it as a positive number. The third example is like, what is the opposite of minus 784? What is the opposite of minus 784? It is positive 784. Okay, so opposite of negative number will be a positive number. Opposite of positive number will be a negative number. Okay, so let me do one more example. What is the opposite of 5239? So the opposite of positive number is a negative number. So which is minus or negative 5239. Okay. So opposite of numbers is nothing but if it is a positive number, it will become a negative number. And if it is a negative number, it will become a positive number. Then what is absolute value? Absolute values are absolute values. Okay, absolute values are represented by two lines like this. Okay, so and inside that we will represent the number. So what is an absolute value of minus 5, which is 5? And what is an absolute value of 5? That is also 5. Okay, so absolute values are nothing but the distance from 0. Okay, so for example, if you have a 0 here and a 5 here, then minus 5 will be here, right? So absolute value is nothing but the distance from 0 to 5, or the distance, if it is absolute value of minus 5 means it is the distance from 0 to minus 5. So the absolute value of whether it is a positive number or a negative number, it is always positive. Why it is positive? For example, you're at house. Now, from your house, you're going to your school, which is 2 miles away from your house. Okay, so we are at home now. So from your house, you're going to your school. which is 2 miles away. From here to here, it is 2 miles away. Okay. And at the end of the school, you're coming back home, right? From the school, if you're coming back home, you have to walk or ride your bike or come on a bus for 2 miles, right? So here, are you calculating the distance as -2? No, because the distance can never be negative. From your house to my house, if it is 2 miles, from your house to my house on the way return back is also 2 miles. Okay. That's what absolute values of a positive number is positive, and absolute value of a negative number is also a positive. And absolute value number notation is they represented in between two parallel lines. Okay. So now let me do some examples of absolute value. So what is absolute value of -6, which is 6? What is the absolute value of -232, which is 232? Okay, because it is the distance from 0. The distance can never be negative. So what is absolute value of 469? That is also 469. Okay, there is one more trick here. What is the absolute value of -32? Sorry, minus absolute value of 32. In this case, please don't write it as positive 32. Okay, here the minus is outside the absolute value. The minus is outside the absolute value. So you'll keep the minus as it is and then 32. Okay, let us do a few more examples. So what is the absolute value of 623? Okay, so absolute value of positive 623 is 623. Now, what is the absolute value of 349? Minus absolute value of 349. Here, the minus is outside the absolute value. It is not inside the two parallel lines. So you will keep the minus as it is and then you will write it as 349. Okay? Is it clear? So now, what is absolute value of -567? So absolute value of -567 is again positive 567 because absolute value is nothing but the distance from 0. The distance can never be negative. So absolute value of negative number is positive and absolute value of a positive number is also a positive. I hope I gave you a clear idea about integers, opposite of integers, and absolute numbers or absolute values. In the next video, I'm trying to teach you about multiplying or dividing integers. Okay? If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.